Today, we're going to dive into a story called The Little Gardener. Now, this is a really simple, but honestly, a super powerful tale about how a little bit of old wisdom and a whole lot of hard work can beat even the biggest challenges. So let's get started.
Okay, so let me just start with a question for you. What do you do when everyone around you is saying it's impossible? You know, when they're telling you to just stop trying. Just keep that question in the back of your mind as we go through this story.
Our story kicks off in a village called Kalapathar. And this place, it used to be gorgeous, all lush and green. But then a huge problem hit, a really, really bad drought. The land just turned brown, the rivers dried up completely, and all the farmers were, understandably, getting very worried. Now, just so we're all on the same page, a drought is just a long, long time with pretty much zero rain. And for a village full of farmers, that is an absolute disaster. I mean, no water means no crops, and no crops means no food. It's a huge deal.
So, facing this terrible situation, most of the villagers just gave up hope. They figured, what's the point? It's pointless to even try planting anything. But this is where we meet our hero, a young boy named Arjun. And you know what? He wasn't ready to give up just yet.
See, Arjun had a kind of secret weapon, some wisdom from his grandmother. He remembered her telling him about this old, special way to garden that didn't need a whole lot of water. It was this cool idea from the past that he thought just might solve their problem right now.
So what was this amazing technique? Well, it was actually surprisingly simple. First, Arjun dug these little trenches. Then, he filled them up with organic waste. He planted his seeds right inside that, and this is the most important part. He watered them with just enough to grow, wasting not a single drop. And this is a perfect example of what it means to conserve. It's really simple. It just means you avoid wasting something, especially something as precious as water is during a drought. Arjun's whole plan was about being smart and super efficient.
But did the other villagers cheer him on? Oh, not at all. They actually laughed at him. They'd say things like, "Why are you wasting your energy, kid? Just look at our fields. They're bone dry. Nothing is going to grow this year." They really thought he was just being a foolish kid, wasting his time.
But in spite of all that teasing, Arjun just kept going. He didn't let their words stop him one bit. Every single day, you'd find him out in his garden, working carefully, working consistently. And the perfect word for Arjun right here is undeterred. It means you just don't let anything or anyone stop you from doing what you set out to do. Arjun had his plan, and he was sticking to it no matter what.
So he worked and he worked. Weeks went by. The rest of the village fields? Still brown, still dusty. And then, after all that patient effort, something truly amazing started to happen. Little green sprouts, these tiny, tiny signs of life, started pushing up through the soil right there in Arjun's little garden patch. It was actually working. His idea, his grandmother's wisdom, it was really, really working.
And they didn't just sprout. They absolutely thrived. Pretty soon, Arjun's garden was this beautiful patch of lush, green, healthy plants. It stood out like a little green jewel in a sea of brown, barren fields. The difference was just unbelievable.
Well, word started to get around. The same villagers who had laughed at Arjun were now completely stunned. People even started coming from other villages just to see this miracle garden that was somehow growing right in the middle of a drought.
So what did all this hard work actually produce? Well, he grew enough vegetables to feed his whole family. He even had extra to sell at the market. But I think the most important thing he grew was hope. Hope for the entire village.
And that's the crucial point here. The money was great, of course, and all the praise was nice, but that wasn't the biggest victory in this story. Something way more important happened next. Because when it was time to plant again, Arjun didn't keep this amazing secret to himself. No, he gathered all the villagers together, and he taught every single one of them his grandmother's water-saving technique. He shared his knowledge with everyone. And that right there brings us to the real heart of this whole story, the gardener's wisdom. So what are the big lessons we can all take away from Arjun's amazing journey? Well, Arjun showed us some incredible qualities. We see his diligence, right? That's his careful, consistent work. We definitely see his perseverance in how he just refused to give up, even when people doubted him. He was an amazing problem solver, using an old idea to fix a new problem. And through it all, he just held on to hope.
And you know, if there's one word to really remember from this story, it's got to be perseverance. It's that power to just keep going, to keep trying, even when things are really, really tough. That is what turned a dry, dusty field into a garden of hope. This story also makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, Arjun's big idea came from his grandmother. So who are the wise elders in your life? What incredible knowledge might they have to share with you if you just take a moment to listen?
And what does it really take to be a great problem solver like Arjun? It's not just about being smart. It's about paying attention, being willing to try something new, and not being so afraid to fail.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. Think about a problem in your own life, maybe something that feels impossible. What if you approached it with just a little bit of Arjun's diligence and perseverance? What amazing things might you be able to grow?